What I didn't realise is that I had an extremely addictive nature, and the nature of the illness is that it continues to grow and manifest throughout the period of somebody's life. I discovered alcohol to begin with. I found when I first started drinking alcohol that it took away my inhibitions. It's given me relief from this constant fear and insecurity I find myself walking about with. Sort of just relaxed me, and I was able to sort of talk to people easier. I was a bit overweight when I was a child, so I got picked on quite a lot. I got into my teenage years, and the people that were bullying me, I started bullying them in return. I remember one instance I had a fight with some kid at school who'd been tormenting me for a long time, and I just hit him and I done some damage, and I just thought that this was some sort of defence mechanism, and I just carried on doing it, not because I wanted particularly to be violent, but it was kind of like me putting up a wall, if you like, just to stop people sort of hurting what was really going on inside. I got in with a crowd of people that used to go to football matches, and I went along with them as well, never to watch the football so much as to cause trouble and for the drinking that took place before the game. When I look back upon my life, especially where the drink and the drugs were control, I found myself I had absolutely no control over the addiction or the illness whatsoever. When I did go to other countries, the alcohol that I was drinking got me into a lot of trouble. It got me arrested in a number of countries, and I found myself getting deported from Australia, handcuffed and put onto an aeroplane full of people at Melbourne Airport, which was extremely embarrassing. There were moments in my life where I really just wanted to stop and just get in some sort of reality, but the insanity almost took over, and I found myself drinking and taking drugs even then, even when I really didn't want to. Illness just manifested a lot worse and worse. I was diagnosed by my doctor with having psychosis, and I went into various psychiatric units to get evaluated from time to time. I was almost sectioned twice because of my behaviour. As time went on, I was getting crazier and crazier, and the illness was getting worse and worse and worse. I was a functioning alcoholic at the time and drug addict, but at the end, because I got in such a bad way, and I was basically struck off work, and I wasn't allowed to work no more. Came to the point where I had a full-on breakdown. There just came by chance, I call it a God incidence, where I got involved in an organisation called Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a 12-step program that's based on 3 parts of the New Testament Bible. The program teaches that if you follow these steps one at a time, one day at a time, then your health will improve and you hand your life over to the will of God. For the first time in my life, I really sort of got a real big urge to pray about my situation, and I hadn't before. I threw everything that I possibly could into that prayer. I just prayed with all my heart because I really wanted to get well. And I knew that it wasn't long before I was going to die. I felt afterwards this feeling that I was just catapulted into another dimension, if that's the right kind of phrase. I felt this intense tingling all over my body, head to foot. I felt this feeling that I was being cuddled from the inside, this feeling of intense love that I've never ever experienced in my life, from a child through to my wife, children. I've never experienced anything like it before. I felt the presence of Jesus Christ in the room. I was crying and I felt something lift out of me, like something had just gone, something had changed, like this thing that I've been looking for all my life. Just suddenly it was there. And it just absolutely blew me away. All my years of drug taking and sleeping around with various women and all the things I've been involved with, there was just nothing that even come close to what I experienced that night. Then I knew that there was a God, and then I knew that this Jesus was just real. Remember my wife coming into the room and she sort of looked at me and then she sort of took a double take and looked at me again and she said, "What's happened? She could see something visibly had changed within me. And I said to her, "I don't believe it. I found God." And she got straight on the phone to her mum and she said, "Mummy's really lost it this time." She said, "Something's gone wrong. We're going to have to take him back down the doctors." I've been walking now with Jesus for 8 years, and there have been tough times where I have faced trials and temptations, and I haven't always dealt with them in the best way. But my wife seems to think that I'm 80% better than what I used to be. So I'm moving by the grace of God in the right direction, one day at a time. My hopes for the future, just to walk with my Lord and Saviour, one day at a time. I have some wonderful moments with Jesus. My prayer life is good. Sometimes he tells me off when I'm not doing the right thing. Sometimes he gives me a hug when I'm a little bit down in the dumps. And I know that if I walk with him, that he'll see me through this life into the next, where I expect to be with him forever. My name's Ted Ferguson. I trust in him who gave it all for me.